Have you heard about the 996 culture? 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week? It's notorious for fueling burnout, especially in the tech industries. But for all those who are not in the tech industry, stick around because if you're on the job market, I have smart questions to ask future employers to prevent yourself from another burnout situation. Now with the AI boom, it's resurfacing again, especially in small AI startups. In this video, I'll break down what 996 is, why it's making a comeback, and the smart questions to ask future employers to make sure you don't end up in another burnout cycle. Hi, I'm Emily, former HR leader turned career wellness coach, and on this channel, I talk about all things to help you manage stress, heal and prevent burnout, and level up your career without sacrificing your well-being. So let's get into what 996 is. It's working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. And it became common in certain parts of the world, specifically China, and specifically their tech sector. But versions of it exist everywhere. It's not just about the hours, it's about the mindset that nonstop work equals success. So why is the 996 work culture resurfacing with AI startups? With AI moving so fast, small startups feel the pressure to move even faster. They don't have the resources the big tech giants have, so they lean in on their employees, pressuring them to work longer hours and the nonstop hustle to try to get ahead. Leaders in these small startups also feel that sense of urgency in order to stay in a hyper-competitive market. I've spoken to professionals in these AI startups, and although it's exciting to be part of something bigger, the expectation is total availability, long nights, weekends, and constant sprints. And while the innovation is real, so is the burnout. So why is it dangerous? Long hours increase the risks of chronic stress, which we know leads to burnout, health issues, mental health struggles, and loss of creativity and decision making. And it's ironic because at small startups, these are the skill sets that are most needed. I've worked with high achievers and they can power through it. We all know they can, but burnout, it doesn't just affect your job. It affects your health, your relationships, and how you see yourself. And the scary part is, you don't even realize or notice how bad it's gotten until you're completely depleted. High achievers will most likely stick it out with their current position until it gets to a point where it's extremely bad. It's very difficult for them to walk away. And I often hear them say, I'd rather work for the devil I know than the devil I don't. But if you are on the job market, there are questions that you can ask a future employer to determine whether they are an appropriate fit for your lifestyle and your career. Remember, interviews are a two-way street. The employer is not just asking you questions to ensure you're a good fit. You want to ask them questions as well. And you can spot red flags early on and protect yourself by asking the right questions during interviews. Think of it as a career due diligence and burnout prevention in advance. So you're not just interviewing for a paycheck, you're interviewing for your health and future success. So these are some of the questions to ask employers, and I've broken it down into different categories. There are 4 categories of questions to ask employers. The first one being workload expectations. Can you describe a typical work week here? What's the average number of hours your team works? How does your company view work-life balance? These questions help you determine what the expectations are and what work-life balance will look like, or if it even exists. The second category, boundaries and communication. What are the expectations around availability, after hours or on weekends? How does the team handle urgent issues? Are there systems in place to avoid constant fire drills? These questions will tell you if the company has structure or systems in place. It tells a lot about the organization's processes and how effective and efficient they operate. The third category, performance measurement. How is success measured here? Are they measured by output, outcomes, or hours worked? And when you ask this question, just ask the question, don't provide the options. See what kind of response you get in return. Can you provide an example of how someone has been recognized for efficiency or innovation, not just working long hours? These questions provide insight on what success looks like at the company. Is success measured solely on outcomes, or do they appreciate effort as well? And last but not least, culture and leadership. How do leaders model balance? Do they lead by example? Do they take time off and encourage their teams to do the same? What is the company's approach to stress management support? These questions give you a sneak peek into whether the company has an always-on culture, which is something you want to avoid. As you have the interview, incorporate some of the questions into the discussion to make it a natural part of the conversation. Don't save all the questions until the end, because usually there's not enough time and you'll be left with unanswered questions. I would also recommend that you ask the same questions to multiple people to gain different perspectives. What you're looking for is consistency in the responses. The 996 culture may seem extreme, but the reality is versions of it exist in many workplaces across the world. You can't always control the demands of a job, but you can control how you evaluate an employer before you commit and accept that job offer. Asking these questions not only protects your health, but it ensures that you find a role where you can succeed and is sustainable long term. If this video resonated, drop a flame emoji in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you know anyone that's on the job market, share this video with them so they know the right questions to ask a future employer. You don't want to see them in a burnout situation. Remember, you're not alone and you don't have to figure it out on your own. Let's walk this journey together. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.